It's a postmodern anti-fiction novel, which is a fancy way of saying it's weird. But I went ahead and just pulled some of that from it. And I at this point, the novel's untitled, but I figured this would be a good venue to announce that the title, as of right now, it may change, is 3, wait for sleep. So there we go. There's a 3-second period after awakening in which a person's consciousness has not fully committed to physical reality. It holds on to whatever definition of reality that occupies its sleep cycle, maintains that definition for a few brief moments before catapulting its host back into full cognition. This duration, although limited, is perhaps the most peaceful existence a person can have while his or her brain is awake. The brain works, you can feel it, you twitch your feet, you hear your stupid marimba alarm, but ultimately, you can't think of anything. A person doesn't remember what he or she had to do that day, or what he or she was thinking before going to bed. That person only feels pure, unfiltered non-obligation. For those 3 seconds, the mind ignores everything in an effort to hesitatingly start itself back up. And then reality floats back in, and the process of self-awareness begins. A person remembers every stressful thought suppressed by sleep, and quickly remembers who he is and what neurosis has manifested itself that day. It's cumbersome to write he or she, but English law dictates that the pronoun for a person must remain ungendered. You might notice I broke the rule a few times. I wrote you, which is incorrect. I also wrote he, which is also incorrect. But sometimes deviation from the grammatical rule, as unpleasant as it is, may yield profound effects. But unusually, only your subconscious picks that up. Don't be cross if you didn't notice it the first time. Androids don't dream of electric sheep. They dream of nothing. Self-ignorance leaves no place for excessive internalization. Internalization is all that people do, though. It's a thing that happens. He doesn't like it. He wakes up and remembers the thoughts he wrestled with before falling asleep. He remembers anxiety, guiltiness, ennui, and on the unfortunate repercussions of his prior day's procrastination. Maybe love sometimes, but that hasn't happened in a while. He reaches for his phone, internet, friends, forget. He scrolls down the newsfeed and he gets up. Present tense. He opened the door and he turned left. He looked in her room and saw her lying down. She stayed home from school again today, which probably meant her stomach was hurting again. Nope. She told him her eye was swollen and she couldn't open it. That was bad, probably. He called their mom and she said, put drops in his sister's ears. He did that. He drank some coffee and he left. Past tense. Today I had a dream that reminded me that I am not a greater man. There's this 3-second period after awakening in which a person's consciousness has not fully committed to physical reality. If there's an aspect of one's life that one wishes to forget, the easiest way to do so is to fall asleep. For the duration of that sleep cycle, in the sweet 3-second span directly following, the undesired aspect is completely absent from one's perception, unless there's a dream. The capricious, unconscious mind has a tendency to bring up undesired aspects of life through dreams. Therefore, the precious 3-second period may be the only way to fully escape that aspect, and that is why we sleep, for those 3 seconds. So why can't I sleep?